Sparta Prague have drawn Liverpool. Liverpool will be in the Czech Republic. Sparta Prague was the first tie to come out the hat. We'll reflect on that very shortly. As for Brighton, it's a tough one. They will go to Rome to face Roma. Roma conquerors last night of Feyenoord. They got through, albeit on penalties, but they got through in the end. A lot of other ties being drawn at the moment, but Martin Kieran with us and watching closely. Rangers up against Benfica. That is a tough one. West Ham will go to Freiburg. Karabag, the last one out the hat there, they play Bayer Leverkusen, of course, who are going well right now under Xabi Alonso. But those ties at the moment, Martin, what do you make of that? Liverpool, Sparta Prague, they're away first.
Well, I mean, Liverpool, the form they're in right now, they won't be worried about anybody, will they? Just trying to get 11 players back on the off the treatment table and back ready to play. So, no, their calibre in Europe is unquestioned. Rangers against Benfica looks a bit tough. Benfica are ahead of the Portuguese league, and we just saw what Porto did to Arsenal, so that makes for a difficult game. And who did you say West Ham are playing, Jim?
West Ham will play Freiburg of Germany. They are off to play Freiburg, who are 8th in the Bundesliga at this time. They beat Lens 3-2 on aggregate in the previous round. So it could have been tougher, though. It could have been tougher. You get clubs like AC Milan in there. Roma, Brighton, Simon, I think Brighton will be up against it to do anything there. No Mourinho now. De Rossi in charge of Roma, and of course that massive home support that they've always got, and they'll take a sizable support down to the Amex as well.
Yeah, I mean, depends. I mean, I don't think anyone thinks that Brighton are potentially going to win this tournament. Maybe they will, but I don't think that they will. I think when teams like Liverpool are in it, I think you're unlikely to win it. So they're on a little journey, and I'm not being patronising, because if Palace were in Europe, I'd be saying the same thing. We're on a journey. It's a voyage of experience. We're now playing arguably one of the biggest names in European football, albeit their achievements don't quite match it, but they are one of the clubs of Italy, Roma. And I think if they were to get knocked out at this stage, it wouldn't be a heartbreak. But notwithstanding it, it's a fascinating draw, and you know, Tony Bloom gets to see big clubs like Roma coming to play.
Absolutely.
At the Amex.
Yeah, it is a terrific tie, actually. I mean, they've a lot to do to get through it. Romelu Lukaku and the rest will be at home first. Brighton away to Roma. It's the last 16 Europa League draw at the moment that's underway. The conference will get underway about 12 o'clock. But Rangers away first, Martin. They will go to Benfica. As you say, it's a tall order. West Ham away in Freiburg. I mean, I think West Ham, I think they can be happy with that, Martin. Other clubs in there, Sporting Lisbon have drawn Atalanta, AC Milan have drawn Slavia Prague, and Karabag have got Bayer Leverkusen. I don't think you would have fancied Bayer Leverkusen, Milan, Atalanta at this particular time. So West Ham, Freiburg, I think is all right.
West Ham's European record has been phenomenal, hasn't it, the last number of years, so nobody really wants to draw them. But nonetheless, if you're 8th in the Bundesliga, you're still of a reasonable quality. And maybe it would have been better for West Ham. It takes the pressure off a little bit, but we'll just see. We'll see how good David Moyes is. He's been fantastic up to now in Europe. That's certainly going to be an interesting game, Jim, but I wouldn't say it's a foregone conclusion.
Yeah. So the Europa League final will be in Dublin, as we know. It's on the 22nd of May. And that is the UK interest at this stage. The last 16 saw Liverpool come out in the first tie, Sparta Prague, Liverpool. The third tie was drawn, and it's Roma against Brighton. The fourth tie that followed that was Benfica against Rangers, and the fifth tie out the hat, Freiburg against West Ham. We'll bring you up to date with what goes on in the Europa Conference League draw. That is around 12 noon.
Jim White and Simon Jordan. Monday to Friday mornings from 10 on AM, on DAB, via the TalkSPORT app and on your smart speaker. TalkSPORT.